Good evening and welcome to Free Enterprise 3. We're take 2 today. We paid out more tequila. The dust bunnies have been swept. I'm back for more. What was I thinking? But I'm Night Dew here with Restream on NG Dave. With me in the comms booth is Deathflag, and on tracking here is Dubword. How are we all doing tonight?
Doing well. Again, I like swinging two weapons. It's the best. It's the best thing in a lot of the Final Fantasies. You got to swing two weapons, do more damage. There's lots of fun to be had.
Edge is very annoyed that we picked up his shtick here. Edward's annoyed because Cecil is holding the spoon above his head, going neener neener, you can't have this anymore. We're getting a little bit of division within the roster here. But never mind that. We're here for Game 2. John Birckhead, recklesscharlie. And if you were here for last night's interesting race here, yes, swinging two things is very nice, but hey, Foo and Friends strats and OMG? Yeah, that happened. You should go watch that. Well, if you can at least. It was an interesting time.
I think I caught a piece of that. It was a blast because there are so many things that can happen when you decide, hey, I don't want to cry. And sometimes a seed provides the opportunity, and sometimes you take it, and sometimes you you don't defer until you get enough XP till you're comfortable with. There's no wrong answer. There is the fastest way of getting the seed done. So you figure out what makes it happen. And I think we have another Rosa start. So that means we hope to find exit or actually do Zot. So and those are fun tracks. Sometimes Earth Crystal is in the Fire Dog chest and Flame Dog chest, and that's a great time when you're looking for things to do in the seeds.
Yeah, great times we did not have last seed. The big thing with that is that we did not have heroin ropes. We had very few attack options aside from that, and again, Gomo was just kind of so fast that it was kind of this whole thing where both of our runners are like, well, I don't know where we go at this point. I mean, it wasn't like super fast, but it was, the XP had not flowed yet there. Key items were a premium on the blue planet, and I believe we were potentially heading to the moon at 7, even though we really didn't need them there. But yeah, we should have the gate dropping. Actually, there it goes right now. So who do we have with Rosa?
I'm here for team, not excitement. I wanted a bard, but that's fine. I think we've got our anchor, or maybe not necessarily anchor now. Sid, still very strong. We'll get the attack multipliers pretty quickly because strength growth is incredible. Though I feel like since Omnidex is on, since everyone can equip anything and everything, Heron Robe will do lots of favors, as you want your strongest character to dish it out often, and Sid being generally an anchor needs a little help to not kind of trudging along too much. You want to get some speed on him quickly, even if it's a assassin dagger.
Yeah, big thing we saw here. Okay, Rose is starting with a bow and arrow, so we can back row our Sid here. Sid, much maligned, aside from early game most of the time. But given that we can actually give him a bunch of, heroin robe and other type stuff, and even weapons that he can't normally equip. Speaking of, that starting kit was a Blizzard Lance and an Ice Brand. Hey, those are mid-tier weapons, but hey, when you can, use both of them at the same time, that's got some interesting early game applications there. John going straight to bed. We're getting a ninja shirt, which actually isn't all that bad in terms of getting your Sid off the speed ground quite fast as well.
Yeah, I like the ninja shirt. Although most and you get a lot of evasion from it. But the thing about agility, about evasion, is that you need defense multipliers or evasion multipliers, and that mostly comes just most of the time from agility, and then so it's not when you contrast evasion multipliers between Edge and Sid, you see the difference immediately. So it's fine for now. You just need something to just make him be more tanky, and that's all you're really looking for. But having essentially leg favorite or anti-favorite equipment, that it's a nice place to be, because it's a solid starting like pair weapons for just one character, and you will obviously get better stuff down the line, but that's pretty solid start. It's kind of mid-tier weapons, especially when paired, are actually stronger especially in Omnidex, where they become really nice, and by far they're even stronger than the Masamune that is Edge's favorite weapon, but you gotta have it in pairs. Even a nice brand is stronger than that.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing behind the whole Edge thing, is Edge was built behind, having two weapons at once where nobody else was. Omnidextrous does kind of throw a big wrench into that, because now that you can wield all these, much more large pieces of gear around, you don't really have that. And I do like the heads-up play from John Birckhead there, taking that initial ice weaponry and saying, well, that'll kill a flame dog real fast, and just went up to do it. Only got a black shirt, which, you can give or take on that. But, yeah, that's just good. You're already here for Bedward. Why not?
Yeah, it's not that much. It's still a trek. It'd be nice if you had warp, because you can warp down the Tower of Zot to some degree. But when you're doing Bedward, you might as well. And there is some. You're doing two checks, especially if that the Flame Dog gives you a key item, particularly ideally the Earth Crystal. But you want the key item to spot for being a trap chest. There's a lot of value there, and you just don't want to be coming out here late in the seed, finding out, if I were here earlier. Those are things running in the cross of certain run of this. When you're an inexperienced runner, those are things that you get a little bit worried about if you didn't really consider these things.
Things we're not worried about on this seed anymore is having a sweeper here, as John Birckhead has found a annoying Luge boss, but has found a sweeper in a Palom here. So between Rosa, Sid, and Palom, this is everything we need. Sid's too good at hitting things for most of this in Omni that I really don't want to anchor him at all, really. He should get this swing off before the poison oh yeah, and that Silver Hammer actually doing a little bit of extra work there. Taking out Dr. Luge and the weakness there. Okay, so Powell has a few levels, gets his tier 2 magic. They did get that black shirt early, and yeah, the question is, with that starting hook and these three characters, how fast do you want to dive that hook above all else?
I think you still want to be mostly thorough. Fading Mount Ordeals is probably a kind of a popular option in this flag set, although when there is still a kind of a dedicated boss hunt objective in the form of Alt Gauntlet, sometimes if you're kind of gambling, you're hoping for the Alt Gauntlet on Mount Ordeals, hoping your opponent fades it and working out for you. But I think it also can backfire, but it's not a major loss if you take the plunge and kind of whiff on that. There's especially this early, there's lots of time to be made up. So I think at least going through Antlion, the World Defense, and Baron Inn first before attempting the hook route is probably kind of more of a standard fare prudent thing to do.
Johnny B only doing one chest there. Is Charlie going to give us the Carter? Charlie's giving us the Carter administration chest twice in a row. Only samurai armor, which actually isn't bad for Evelyn. to at least get that defense break point to hit those that Mad Ogre's chest at the very least here. Paled him, resistant to all elements, and downright absorbs them if you cast at them. So a little longer to take down using this, and just a Crystal Shield. I'm actually kind of surprised we're not resetting out of that one. That's shield's not something we're really interested in Omnidex.
Could be worse. The XP here is not. It's something. I mean, in the boss fight here, I mean, Palom. You didn't really need Palom to do anything, so I don't think it makes it too much a difference. Maybe that shield will become useful. I mean, you can double equip shields in Omnidex, which is not possible at all normally in the first place. So you can collect up if you really need someone to just have everything to be a kind of a tank. Having double shields is not unheard of, and can be useful if you're definitely not you're gonna use that character swing. So it can be useful. Not sure we might see that in action, but it could be worse. I mean, could be worse options on the table.
Yeah, John going back into Evelyn here, so he thinks he's in a position here. He's left that elbow chest there. Okay, left most of Evelyn out. Okay, that's interesting. I thought I saw him dive in here earlier, but maybe I was mistaken in that case there. Then again, did not have a lot of stuff there, so might have actually saved Evelyn here. Charlie gonna go show us our Baron character here. And again, we are C distinct 7. So we only have 7 distinct characters in here, so, you know, even just with 3 characters in our parties here, we do stand a chance of finding duplicates, and yeah, that sure is a duplicate Palom.
Yeah, it could probably... I mean, I guess we could have faded it, but then that means kind of the missed experience would be missed experience on Hobbs, but you're getting the character again. It's one of those things, it happens. Not much... sometimes, I mean, the worst case scenario is if both the character in Baron and Mount Hobbs are dupes in the first place, and we know this Ruby is not too long for this world, because we got the best starting kit to begin with, so it's... yeah. Almost. Oh, no, triggered it. We triggered the rare death sequence when you've hit, well, like 100, like even 10%, even less than that. It's a small percentage. So.
Speech. Oh wait, no, we don't want that. Okay, never mind. However, that Legend Sword is definitely a nice piece of Baron there. Half a forge, and oh, that's rather unfortunate actually over there on John Birckhead's side. Did unfortunately low roll that Black Cat, and Rosa ate the bluster there. That is definitely a little unfortunate here, and I'm kind of wondering if Sid has the power here. Gonna try to get Palom up here. Sid is plenty tanky enough to deal with those hits. Palom, not so much. And we're just kind of really hoping that he has enough. Okay, was able to kill it, does not get the charm counter there, so everything is right in the world, at least on John's side there. Unfortunately, Murasame, which is actually one of the best ninja swords you can get, if just for the fact that it can be used for agility and manipulation.
I think John really just wants the Quake, at least Virus, the very minimum. So this is it's probably a little calculated. I mean, I would have revived Rosa, then revived Palom and try to get that, but you know, it's one of those gambles. I mean, you want Quake Kid online because you hoping that Quake Kid will do lots of work on the boss. You know. And, you know, especially with Baigen at large, you always want that kind of, you want Quake protection. And you can go without Quake protection. It's just not, it's not as fun a fight.
Yeah, that's kind of a little bit there. He actually seems more content to use Palom as an anchor here, dropping that Murasame and Dwarfax on him there. Really? Okay, he is going to go for a bluff. I did see Charlie pick up a black sword. in the Damascene Treasury there. That's actually a wonderful item for your black magic casters there. We're not sure why it gives all that kind of buffs to, you know, Dark Knight, Cecil, and Vanilla, but honestly, in Omnidex, we don't care. Okay, it's gonna change over to double rods here, and that Fire 2 should at least drop all the skulls, and the Blizzard Weaponry should deal with the Stalemon, provided Palom stays upright, and, well, maybe not.
I mean, there is some luck. I mean, board face AI at work trying to take down the character that will be most efficient and most effective against them. So and just see that just right there deciding, hey, and also there's I think it's kind of a specialized chance that I think that the target in the middle while usually has some decent bonuses, specifically accuracy bonuses for both for attacks and spells. Also tends to be kind of a target in a lot of these. So sometimes you're trying to be the anchor. Also tends to be the most hit, and you know it's kind of how RNG rolls.
I mean, the accuracy, yes. I do not believe there is any actual we hit the center spot a little bit more out there. I'm not entirely sure about that myself here. That Fire 2 finally does fly for, oh yeah, plenty of damage there, as Charlie's running into the same issue with this other fight. Oh wow, that's a Twin Harp, that's an objective, and with this party, did Rosa have enough to get to Berserk yet? Because if I have Berserk, I'm feeling pretty good about actually going and doing Cape Magnus there. The other question is, I haven't seen Poison Axes, Mute Knives, Rune Axes, anything that would make this Mad Ogre's chest a little more palatable that John is headed straight towards.
It's definitely not enough. I see 17. That's not quite enough. I think Porum learns a little earlier, so but even then, yeah, that's might be still definitely winnable fight. Sid will still be able to kind of do it himself. It might be a little slower, but it definitely will go. But it's an interesting fight to take on, especially not having fully healed. So I think we'll have to it's really just kind of managing Palom, and mostly Palom and Rosa for the most part. Just probably could have used stop here. It would mitigate a lot. Oh,
yeah, both of them are going for stop there. Oh, that's what I see. John was trying to and didn't have the timing exactly correct there. Is trying to use the power staff to berserk that Sid here.
That requires quite a bit of timing. It is risky, but it's not. I mean, you're one thing. You're fighting. You're trying to make sure that you're timing right. That you know Sid goes first, and then Rosa falls immediately after. Otherwise, it's not gonna quite work out. As once ATB empties, you are essentially vulnerable to status-based hits, and power staff inflicts berserk. So that's a kind of a thing to take advantage of, and Massive Moon for their time.
Yeah, speaking of taking advantage, what I didn't make note of there is that I did see Reckless Charlie pick up an Assassin Dagger, so I did see a Swoon proc there too. That worked. So yeah, that was really good there. Unfortunately, this Bad Ogre not really wanting this Palom to stay upright here. We're kind of low on life potions already, and yeah, that Mad Ogre is not slowing down here.
That was a literal Rosa whiff at Life 1. I mean, Life 1, we think it's perfect 100%. No, there is some spell accuracy. She essentially performed a version of Telelife where you just can't, where the spell doesn't actually work because it just rolled against you.
A little more surprising, just given the fact that we didn't really put, or at least I did not see, much in the way of negatives that was put on Rosa. So she was actually at probably roughly close to base spell power, which is kind of interesting in itself. And Johnny B down to 2 life potions already. Might want to go a little shopping for a few more there.
Yeah, I mean, in these seeds, you start with a white mage, but it doesn't mean you can decide to forget that life potions exist. Sometimes there will be times where things won't go your way. Even just a set of 10 pots are enough to just keep the seed rolling. As once you've consumed all your life potions, and your white mage goes down, there will be panic, and that panic might be in the most inopportune time.
Even then, less that and more, it's just the easier way to get your life glitches going there. Life potions near instant, and sometimes it's a little more difficult. Excuse me. Just making sure you get into your white mage's queue if you want to drop a life glitch. And Charlie heading for Troy. I would guess this is the Twin Heart play coming out here. Might actually be shopping too. There are 2 item shops here. John gonna get paid out in that Legend Sword for key item parity. And then we're just kind of crossing each other's. Nothing good in the item shop there, and in the pass shop we have. Oh, there's a life potion. Sure, why not? I'll take 30. Well, just 10. Okay.
I think the shopping in this flag set, it's S Pro, so you're not. It's unlike the standard shopping randomization. S Pro makes essentially every tier item one level lower than you normally. So it's 1 tier lower. So for items, typically if you're looking for life potions, not a problem. But if you're looking for like a quality swinging weapon, which looting is good at, it should be good enough in most instances. There's not too many things for sale that are worth your time outside of a power staff. There's just the options are kind of down here sometimes with S Pro. So at least gator shops and would be at least a little more palatable, but just basic shops you just don't bother most of the time.
Yeah, and you're really not looking for that, given that K-Trap is on anyway here. So we're hitting all the trap chests anyway. Long story short, between all the trap chests you're going to hit, I mean, in any seed, if you hit that many trap chests, you're going to get that. Now, one of the big things you do want to hit item shops for, and you might have to go underground for those, Ether Tubes. Very strong, keeps your mages going. Anytime you do not have to spend in an item animation for a tent or a cabin is time well saved.
It's time for some music. Let Spoony B do his thing.
Clearly, Sid not wearing the right skin for that. We have Mega Man music, but no Mega Man Sid. Meanwhile, on Charlie's side, our first heroine robe of the seed, first chess in Cave Evelyn.
Powerful stuff. If you saw in that mom bomb fight, it was a very interesting. I think Quake was used. Actually, targeted all of them. I think just the one set was essentially immune to magic. The other set, not. That was some kind of rare formation that I don't really get to see. But yeah, when you have perfect magic defense, 255, you have the Val effect. Magic doesn't happen. It doesn't happen to you. And so that's, and I think John had, I think had a little bit trouble. I think Charlie had like all of his characters equipped with weapons, so they're able to contribute. John had spent a little bit more time, didn't not having the same kind of firepower, even though probably, but I think John Birckhead had Quake. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure, but even then, wasn't quite. It's a little slower fight there. Not having everyone equipped. Sometimes it is worth spending the time to get everyone equipped, and this will be a fun fight at the Ruby spot.
I mean, Rydia probably going to be relegated to Team Anchor there, and I'm kind of sad about it. John is going to find that heroine robe. John did not have Quake for that fight, and it's kind of weird, just kind of the mom bomb thing, where part of it is, again, the Twin Harp spot does have not perfect magic defense, but near perfect magic defense, and some things it transfers to, and some it doesn't. Those gray bombs are usually a little bit more magic resistant at normal. Again, your black mage is not really doing great work there anyway. Now, if you find something like an alt gauntlet where all those stats get just kind of substituted into what the alt gauntlet is, you're fine. But nothing like that. But anyway, they're both heading in there. They're both going to get that Rydia. Now, that Tikisi is not going to be so bad. I'd actually be more worried about that Dark Knight Cecil if it were one spot earlier. That Dark Knight Cecil would be absolutely kind of a little bit ludicrous in the KQE spot, just because he's a bit faster and hits a little harder there. But again, both of these runners here are going to at least be happier knowing that we have a Sid available here, and I believe the few Cure 2s there should be about all that is needed.
Yeah, having some backup healing can't hurt. And interesting decision not to pick up the character, probably try to get some XP on him, or maybe not. I mean, could probably wait till maybe wait for Mega Man, or especially really kind of not late, but it's kind of like would have preferred for pick her up earlier, but can use her for maybe a late slingshot if necessary. Like, she could be currently the current anchor while everything's going on, and yeah, at least we have Forge going. So once we get to the underground, that's usually kind of nice, actually. Most times you kind of get portions of it, here and there, and maybe like usually one the other piece on the moon. But having it this early, another nice weapon that can be a good stat stick for our main swingers or for another character that needs the stat stick.
Or it could just be scrap metal and we're all just deluding ourselves.
It's a low chance of that. Low chance.
I mean, there are a couple other things there. I mean, again, the edge weapons aren't so bad because those are 95 and 100 attack power, and actually would find their way into people's hands there. You really don't want to find a black mage stick there. Both the Triton Dagger and the Nirvana are, you know, okay, great for casting stats, but I mean, if you're looking to hit things, not exactly where you're going with that. And yeah, there's the Dwarfax Drain Sword going on that Rydia for John there. And actually, that is a potentiality that you don't actually have to keep that Rydia down just because we have so much in the way of means of tanking her agility as is.
Yeah, I actually like the Mura. It does two things. It's good for your black mages because A, they can be the anchor, like the pseudo anchor, but B, mostly you got the wisdom bonus, and that's I mean, you use willpower, but it doesn't really matter for them. They just black magic requires wisdom, and wisdom does all the work. So Murazam is an interesting weapon to have on a black mage in this flag set. It's a lot of utility, and it's sneaky good for what it does.
Does have the means to actually one-shot these Mad Ogres. Did not look like that Rosa actually had Berserk yet on either one of them, and you kind of want that. I missed that key item real fast there. But John gonna give me a look at it here. Oh, well, that's a spoon. That's a solve some problems here. They're probably gonna wait out the DKC with Sid still, if I had to guess. But if we run into something super rude, at least on hook 1, and there's a lot of super rudes still left out there, well...
It's a nice kitchen utensil. That's all
I mean, they've got an Earth Hammer or a Power Stick there, because again, in Omni, the spoon will set your attack straight to 255. So at that point, there is nothing you can actually put on it that really helps. Aside from actually giving yourself a few more multipliers. In this case, you just want more strength, more agility, either one of those two, just to get you up there. And usually, again, a spoon, a power staff, a spoon, an earth hammer, generally what you're looking for.
Yes, and we've stumbled onto some vanilla.
Wait. This was here last night. I'm calling shenanigans.
Rando be rando. It doesn't matter what. At some point in the seed there will be vanilla, and you will like it.
No. I'm saying the fix is in here. We got the Evelyn royalty still in the Evelyn royalty. Yeah, it's the fix is definitely in. Which way? I have no idea, but there's a fix.
I mean, I guess. You get royalty kind of rigged people getting in, and I mean, you either marry into it or something. I don't know. It's fine. DKC, you can actually go on save if you're concerned about it, but for both our runners deciding to take DKC on immediately, Sid will be the living soul survivor because he's a tank. Between Sid and Yang, who are the fastest HP growers, you're usually not concerned about taking on DKC when you have you can just take all the damage and you get the chance of reviving one important character to collect all the XP. So this is this is kind of, you see what the choices are. Charlie deciding needs the strongest white mage possible, and John saying need more spells.
Now, here's the thing. Again, I mentioned it earlier. We're a lot more lucky that this Dark Knight Cecil was not one step earlier, as we saw those Dark Waves doing about 350 damage, roughly. If that DKC is in the KQE spot, those 350s, no, those are actually about 600s there.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, you have to get a little bit creative with those Cure 2s. We do see Karate Man Yang at the top of the tower, which is an objective, but our runners are holding on to tower keys already. I would not be surprised if both of them decided to about face immediately back into Lower Babel to go clean that up almost immediately.
Yeah, I mean, with a tower key, it's a kind of a near guarantee. I think just based on this flag set, you just it's a kind of a especially it's a good idea just to do it outright, even Towler's key, even because there you have 4 spots for trap chests with the probably one of the easier fights unless you can't really one-shot the alert. You might need some help, maybe using stop that would prevent some summoning. But either way, it's free. But Charlie proves me wrong, decides to do something else instead. Probably maybe looking at least to get a heal, and then maybe do dwarf while nearby. So I guess maybe the health situation is the only reason to do this. I get does the bot.
Fiery pointed out that we do have Forge in our pockets there, and still, Charlie could be going for that. Again, we have not seen an alt gauntlet. Charlie going straight for dwarf. Okay. So anyway, we did only just see a crystal gauntlet in the first trap chest. Charlie maybe shopping a little bit here. Maybe looking for some of those Ether 2s or something like that. Now, if that's just an Asura summon, just a Charm Rod out of the second chest here. Nobody finding anything exactly world-shattering just yet.
With vanilla trap chests on just the vanilla spots specifically, not the vanilla items, because vanilla items are not exciting, but vanilla spots allows you to do certain strats, like do kind of looting Eblin, because you know where the spots are. You don't have you can choose when you want to take on the fights. But have an Eblin start typically is a really popular starting loot point, which Charlie did earlier. So while I think both runners have looted Eblin in full. It's one of those things where some vanilla knowledge goes a long way, and also you don't have to spend time looking for the trap chests. That's if it were just the standard randomization, we would have to look through every trap chest. But since it's vanilla, we know where they are. They'll always be there, and you don't have to spend that much more time looting chests that definitely do not contain.
Okay, real quick here. First off, welcome in Raiders from Free Enterprise. I was kind of hoping to see the end of that race. I wasn't, so I really don't want to be spoiled here. Otherwise, I will break out the newspapers, because I can do that, I guess. Okay, maybe I can't, but anyway, we also did find a package in, I believe, the third trap chest. I believe that was really only the quote-unquote key item we had going up forward here, so there is that. But again, that's Asura here, and that was Mylon Z in the tower room, so yeah, a few things. And yeah, I'm kind of actually really surprised Charlie's going straight for Dwarf. Okay, I was like, wait, what is going on here? Oh, Greyface is going on here.
Yeah, this is this first spot, I think, right? So yeah, the Calbrina spot is actually more punchy than you think, because most of the time if in vanilla you try to avoid fighting the big doll, because it's very scary. But trying to get kind of the life lock, attacking the Greyface who casts life 1 when it's her turn. That is because you don't want to have her coming back with a Cure 4, ruining all the time spent with the damage dealt. So, but that should be a free boss with a cane. You have a full party, so this should be a solid replacement for Sid if you decide to get enough levels on Kane and switch Sid to be the full-time anchor, if that is even desired.
No, not at all. No, Sid is not an anchor in this flag set here. Sid is here to hit things. Kane is also here to hit things there, but again, both of them seem to have arrived at the same position here. That face down Rydia is likely going to be their anchor here. As it is, the second fight of Dwarf Castle is utterly free. There goes Quake. Kane's going to be upright, and I need to stop looking away. Oh no, there it is. And just a Stardust on top of tower. It was an objective at the very least, so please accept these parting gifts. And that's about it here. But again, we're still just kind of both looking at, kind of wondering what this forge is. I mean, I'm kind of surprised Charlie went straight to Dwarf here. I mean, if that's something, like an Abel's Lance, we're kind of happy, right?
I think you already going for the pot. You might as well, but I'm probably like if you're going to get a heal, you might as well have trade before do the healing. I mean, I guess it depends, and this spot isn't as appealing. Oh, definitely not a key item. Artemis bow, nice weapon, though. Bows and arrows in this flag set actually not as appealing. You automatically get the attack power law penalty because when you don't have the bow and the recessive hand, the non-dominant hand, you automatically get the penalty. So if you're gonna equip bow and arrows, you automatically get the 80% effectiveness penalty. You lose 20% of your attack power because you just didn't follow. You don't follow bow and arrow rules, but that's because of Omnidextrous, nothing else.
Never mind. We have a Darkness Crystal out of that tower key, so we're now at 4 out of 6 objectives on John Birckhead's side, and we're gonna see this forge here very soon. Again, just the whole nature of Omni here is that none of us are really likely to see anybody going bow and arrow unless very specialized, like, maybe like somebody trying to get like Medusa arrow procs or something like that. Oh, that is a very interesting Cockle shop, if just because those were Hourglass 2. We still haven't seen our gauntlet yet, and if this is a moon gauntlet, those Hourglass 2s are going to be rather interesting. The rest I can give or take. I mean, I'm a proponent of Protect Rings every once in a while. Also, mild womp there for the Seraphim Mace there. Not exactly what we were looking for. Yeah.
Hey, it's another rebranded life staff of some sort. It's bonks. It's not too shabby to bonk things with. You can still use a stack stick while you swing some other weapon. A lot of Super Smith weapons are pretty good for this flag set, unless you're like getting the really good stuff like Abel's Lances and such. Like there's still. I mean, the majority are still pretty sweet. Even for a stat stick, you can have Rosa getting willpower bonus and swing something, still swinging. I call that a win.
I mean, I'd still rather have Rosa swinging around Avengers and Crystal Swords as opposed to that, but Anyway, this would normally be a little more scary if they didn't have perfect agility anchoring. This is likely what's going to happen for the next bit here, as Palom is going to quake. Now, the question here really is, with Darkness Crystal in hand, nothing out of the Warrior's chest there, with Darkness Crystal in hand, and only 2 more objectives to find, how soon do you go to the moon?
I mean, there are 2 ways of looking at it. I think the thought here is to look at Sylph's Cave and just do essentially loot and grind. Essentially grind. You only loot because you want to try to get the key items, but you're also getting the grind so you can prep yourself for the LST, which you most likely going to have to deal with in any case. So I see that as that's the kind of the prevailing thought. If you don't think anything's to be worthwhile found there, and just go to LST and do kind of a more thorough dive, but it might be maybe longer because you're gonna be underleveled, or at least may not be in a situation to be as effective as having a grind. it can be slower. So it's a risk reward just to go to the moon without having even dipped Sylph's Cave for a little bit.
I mean, there could be another reason why we're not going to LST here. If you notice, there is a overarching thing that we have in our party, or rather, overarching thing that we don't have in this party, and that's an Exocaster.
Yeah, that is the least appealing thing at this point. You're just hoping for the Earth Crystals drop in the Sylph's Cave. That would be the dream for our runners, because that makes the LST dip much more interesting. But I think the pass would make it a little bit more amenable for our runners. At least if you're gonna come away with something, at least get the pass. But you would prefer the Earth Crystal.
Dave, if you did not put warping out of the, I would be very disappointed if you did not put multi-warping out of the LST on, because we all need to hear that, right? The first little 4 bars of the LST theme over and over, 13 times in a row, if I believe LST warping is correct.
That sounds enjoyable. I think warping in the LST, I mean, it's better than nothing. I'll put it that way, because you still need Palom to reach that level. Though I think by now, especially if you've done the grind here, you're at least guaranteed that Palom will have warp, and and at least it won't be a troublesome trek on the way out if we really have to go that far. So I mean, it could be worse if you had no warp on top of no exit caster.
Yeah, one thing Charlie did find, other than Union Man Arty arrows and this white shirt we've got going on John Birckhead's screen there, is of the shops that Charlie checked, especially the one in Dwarf, Charlie did pick up 6 black belts. And we haven't, we found 1 heroine robe. Hey, that's great and all. But Charlie's gonna have a little bit more firepower, so to speak, of here. Especially with the cane and all that, if it comes down to it. Now again, we do have a spoon, we do have a source of berserk here. Excuse me, I'm not tired at all. Yeah, that's that. The longer this seed goes, the more that might come into play here.
I mean, having all the equipment that you'd ever want, at least for terms of armor, trying to just ton of stat boost, trying to get the multipliers in for your berserkers. I mean, when you have at least a full set of black belt, an Omnidex, that's the 15 strength, so that's 2 multipliers, and then it's still pretty good. You get it's not though, although admittedly it's kind of like a heroine robe. But the heroine robe is already better because you have the agility, and though sometimes you might value an armor that doesn't get you agility. At least if your anchor is trying to contribute. Although I don't think that is most runners won't be thinking of it. They just want your anchor being an anchor. But yeah, if you can stack as many multipliers on a Zerker, when they go Zerking. It's a beautiful thing when you can just put down the controller or just stop hitting buttons. The battles do themselves. Why put in so much work? And it looks like nothing came out of Sylph's Cave. At least on that point. There's still the Toad Lady though.
Honestly, the biggest thing that came out of Poison Treasury there was that Dragoon Lance, and wait, Johnny B's looking for something. I was about to say no edge in the party here, I was about to say no edge if you're trying for like the centipedes, which you already had that guaranteed chest down there, because you might want to steal like a silk web or 2, but again, no edge in the party to deal with that here. I'm not sure what that was all about to begin with, period. Anyway, gonna go hit that Toad Lady chest. But anyway, as I was saying, actually, with those lunar subterranean trap chests going to be a thing here, that Dragoon Lance ticks the boxes of 2 of the scariest chests in there, Bimmy and Jimmy and the double red dragons there. That's kind of scary, and having some anti-dragon tech, especially given that most of our runners have thrown away the arty bow and everything. And Johnny B had just resurrected that Rydia, started giving her XP, and the seed said, "Hey, good on you. Here, have a Bahamut orb."
Yeah, once you get the Bahamut orb, the calculus might change. You might actually want to switch anchors. You could still use a black mage to be an anchor. They're typically like next to Sid and Tella. They are plenty slow, and sometimes you can get away with a Palom that is like well anchored, but also has a lot of spell power, and you can kind of bluff your way to repairing some of that. So it can be a thing. Now whether you want to do it is up to you. Having more options is better than nothing. And looks like quick trip to hoping Sheila 1 suddenly has the pan, because hoping for finding the pan on the moon might be an undesired. Had faded for the rule. Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I believe both of them did fade Fagul here. So yeah, just going in to get this check. I mean, you hate it, if King hands over the pan here. You love it if you faded this and it's something like that. That's just a turtle. Never mind. Nothing bad happening there. It does seem to be like, okay, I let you have enough XP. Back down on the ground you go. Even though this check's in the spot. But anyway, turtle down, and what are we gonna get from this here?
Wouldn't surprise me if it's the pen that shows up, because it can. But no, it's just a hat. That's all we're getting. But might as well do the Sheila 1 check while we're here, hoping it's something. Something of value. You already have darkness, but there's still plenty more key items on the table. And yep, we're going directly to Zot. Do not pass go. Do not collect any more GP.
That is rather interesting there. That Earth Crystal is definitely a thing, and at 50 minutes, you have access to that treasury. You have to open it already, and the biggest thing you could hit, honestly, at this point is just more heroin ropes, which would be great, don't get me wrong here. But yeah, especially because John can then just go climb the tower, most likely get a party member, and as long as it's not Edge, you have a fresh anchor. If you're willing to perhaps go to that Bahamut orb on Riddy here. But also, that's 5 key items now. Part of me is just wanting to open this, not go to Zod, and take my chances on the moon.
Wait, did I really want the loot? Yeah, for non-trap chest, we for this flag set capped tier 5 loot. So this loot will never contain. This treasury will never contain a crystal sword. That's just because the crystal sword is tier 8. So a lot of tier 5 stuff is good, but we're kind of in the middle to late in the seed. This treasury isn't really appealing at all. Especially we got all the stuff, and unless you're hoping for a better anchor weapon, Dwarf X is usually top billing, but Drain Spears are all the rage. That's minus 10 to all stats, but all we care about is the minus 10 to agility, what we need for our anchors.
I mean, if you were more diligent on keeping them down there, but yeah, we're gonna have to talk about Johnny B there. Not about just fading that treasury, but giving us the fake out there. Deciding that, oh, we're gonna go check this. No, we're not. I'm just screwing with you. Well played, John B, but we're gonna ask you about it after the video, or at least I am. But anyway, that's a Dark Elf, and while we haven't found any Holy Swords to speak of, it's just kind of a speed bump here, honestly.
Yeah, it's a slow spot. Magus Sisters are usually here, not really not really concerned. I mean, there's 2 phases, but that just means, yeah, that just the second phase literally is a speed bump. You can't. It's hard to get rid of the first form, so. Well, there are ways of getting to it, but they wouldn't be fast at all anyway. So, although I'm trying to remember if the dragon spear was equipped because the second phase is an actual dragon.
Oh yeah, that was absolutely Dragoon Spearhead if Sid was doing Niners there. Anyway, we do get up here. We do find a DKC. So Cecil, character number 6. One you can kind of keep down here, as Charlie is going to get that Earth Crystal as well. So it could just be a DKC we keep down and let Rydia live for a little bit, or we just don't do anything with that. And that is a character that exists, kind of.
You could choose one over the other, but at this point, I think it's just a looks like refresh anchor situation. Beating the Rydia, gotten some XP, but thought better of not trying to take advantage of the Bahamut Horde. It's understandable because if you were to keep her upright, you getting to level 50 on Iridia can be tricky. Even we're probably gonna kill some do a lot of LST boss hunt just looting even then.
Yeah, the thing about Rydia is with Omni, you're not really looking for Rydia to be your Zeromus answer. Usually a lot of people, especially when they play free Enterprise, kind of don't get her role. Is more of the whole not to really be your Z unless you're really building for it, but just a Bahamut Orb is more just based on having her get you there, and everybody else kind of does their thing against Z. Again, the journey sometimes different than everything else there, but down goes Leviathan. But yeah, we do have a fresh new anchor in a Bard, which, hey, that's a pretty good anchor last I checked.
I mean, you could have volunteered DKC, but but it almost makes no difference. But I think you really want a reliable second Zerker, especially given the current party comp. So hey, it's super convenient. We're already here.
Wow, okay, sure, why not? I guess we're going to Baron here. But my whole question was also, again, we haven't seen the Fabul Gauntlet here. Our party John says no, and I wonder, I was wondering the same thing there, and, John's Land of Mysidia says, this is enough, I'm going to the moon. I was about to say, at this point, you don't really need a sweeper at all. You've got 3 boss checks on ordeals, and you're 1 away from go mode here. I'm actually kind of liking the whole, maybe we go up the Accursed Mountain, and even if we just, get a Paladin, that is definitely a better Zerker than DKC at this point, because we're not really using him, and that is the saddest Bahamut Orb I have ever seen thrown in a trash can. I am very sad.
This is preemptive inventory boss avoidance. That is the whole point of that.
Oh no, I'm fine with with avoid the inventory boss. I'm just like, hey, you threw that in there, and Johnny B is going elsewhere. Oh, I see. No, this is actually. Oh, going to Dwarf Castle, and I was about to say, he only bought 2 hourglasses out of that Kokol shop. Now, at the very least, that will get you through the Warlock Kari fights, which are in, okay, you're just checking the first boss there, never mind. But I would also say, I would actually grab, like, as many more as I could carry at that point, just because you run into a couple certain gauntlets, and you really don't want to put up with a lot of the crap that most of that is. That said, Charlie is headed up the Accursed Mountain.
I mean, why not? It's a gamble. It's not. In this flex set, it doesn't look as popular. But if you stumble onto the All Gauntlet, you might gain quite a bit of ground. But though, judging from John Birckhead's situation, it's not. It's only one key item away, and it probably won't be that much of an advantage given what's left on the board. I mean, you still need a magma key, and that's the kind of the only difference, and that should be elements, as we saw Ruby much earlier. I think it was Baron in, so this is a very free fight.
Yeah, and again, just leaving ordeals up to this point. Now again, Charlie, it's kind of weird because Charlie is headed up the Accursed Mountain, but left the Paladin, well, actually does not know the potential Paladin is at Za here, so this is just boss checks and nothing else. So yeah, Johnny gets the last arm down. Only a Stardust Rod. Now, here's the question, is Johnny B is moving things around and is gonna check giant bosses. Now, here's the thing, this is, is just gonna check the first one. If he doesn't like what he sees, it'll just be a straight reset out. I don't like that, no. 100k of CPU, and no thank you very much. Charlie takes the Gungnir Spear, sees a Val, resets out of Ordeals. So we know that both the Giant and Ordeals are both out of, yeah.
Yeah, that's very... a lot of whomps in just a couple of seconds. That's, not everything pays off. and you have to gamble. You have to kind of look at other spots that could have provided but didn't. It's just, and every runner will have that moment. So not surprising, and not could be worse. That they could have hit, but yeah, CPU at the element spot, especially element spot having like the truckload of HP. The CPU fight would just be slow. It's just like even if All Gauntlet is behind in the CPU spot, it's not worth the time or effort to do that. So, and John Birckhead going for the hairdryer chest because definitely needs some levels on that DKC for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it's also the only bad thing about keeping an anchor at this point is that you're never going to get that slingshot there with Eddie kind of weighing everything down as he does. But, I mean, that's still, we're at 10 key items here, so everything is worth a lot, and oh my, that's go mode, never mind.
This seed is incredible. Can you just, don't even have to dive the LST, it's just right there. It's super convenient, and all there is what's behind this, and the worst thing that could be would actually be Alt Gauntlet. It would be like, you're already here. Well, maybe, although it's actually one trip less that you have to do, not having to do the magma drop off.
Yeah, this will not be Fu and Friends here, but if you can get just, I would actually, the plan here, I would think, is, yeah, take a behemoth or two. Don't worry about anything else. Keep Eddie down, obviously, and just run Rosa Sid power couple for Z.
That could be doable. Oh, this has to be the zombie dance party. I think we've seen Mylon's at a little bit earlier, I think. So this is not quite a free fight. It's kind of a little slow. As long as we don't get rid of the zombies before Mylon's dead, we're pretty safe. Mylon will punch occasionally, but this spot, being what it is, usually reserved for Bahamut, unfortunately, again, like a lot of bosses that only deal magic but never punch normally, they're overtuned. So this is one of the highest damage punch spots. So if Mylon decides to punch the front row, whoever's in the front row will go down and will go down quickly.
Yeah, again, I don't think we're really too awfully worried about that. Again, he's got to lit one or two to go through that. But also, like I said, unless you're going to get this Cecil up to, you know, I guess getting this DKC up to about maybe 1,1300 would be great. But even then, you know, yesterday's seed had power just like this, but had a Fusoya instead of a. But is exiting out, is putting the pedal to the metal. Again, I would love a little bit more stuff for the Rosa here. At this point, that Seraphim that I didn't see, he sold. Somebody else trash canned. I think I would have liked that stat stick for Rosa a little bit here. Yeah, it does have the Goon Spear. Could have done that, as both of them will have to walk the LST. No pass in sight for either one of our runners, so yeah, that's a thing. So John's going straight for that crystal, and yeah, as said, oh no, Charlie's going to the Baron. That's not where, unless we didn't see a blue robe at the handover anything at the beginning of the game. I can't remember if we did or not.
I can't remember. It's already been an hour, and I can't remember. It's already forgotten. But you know, it could be at the end of it could be at the Kinazo spot. So I don't. It's not. It's definitely not the end, but it still doesn't help because we know where everything else is. So that's kind of, so yeah, I don't. This is one of those unfortunate, especially this spot. Well, we're still. I mean, there's still two boss spots. We don't care for the Odin spot because K summon is not on the docket. I mean, we could peek it for all gauntlet, but that's kind of not desirable at the end. But there's also one key item, so this spot not exactly ideal to kind of trek down, given what we have, what's left in terms of objectives.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, is putting that Dragoon Lance on that DKC. Is doing a little bit of healing up, does have those hourglasses. Actually, now that I think about it, with those hourglasses, the Warlock carries might be a better draw here than even the Dragons, if just because, you know, you have the Zerk and Life Glitch more available for those, as opposed to, you know, a kind of knockdown, drag-out fight with those dragons, who are usually a little more punchy than you would like. Only some Mega Sisters on the Baron Throne, unfortunately, as well. Yeah, there's not really a key item here. Now, the good news is, as soon as Charlie goes to the moon, I would assume that he goes to that, the Hairdryer's chest. It's a pretty normal check for everybody involved who usually plays this to get into, but Johnny B is still gonna skip that first Warlock Kari chest, showing you how much I know because it's outside there. But yeah, I'm kind of interested to see if Johnny B is gonna take any more of a grind or just says, okay, I can do this, which he could very well. Let's get this. You know, he's a very good player, much as he tries to say otherwise. But yeah, that's I'm kind of interested just to see if he takes one or two more pieces of XP here.
You want it? There's a Warlock carry chest. There's one that normally in the Murazami route that usually contains the life staff. The one most likely to be taken is the Heron robe on the way to the inner save point. But this is a hey, we got double dragon.
All right, double red dragon. This is a lot of XP though still, and just want to keep. Now again, I think Palom is probably who you don't want to or don't really care so much about having upright here. You probably want to keep that DKC upright. Targeting may be an issue there, as hopefully Sid gets 2 more swings in before Heat Ray becomes a thing.
I think that requires a punch first before the Heat Ray. I think the DKC had an Earth Hammer, which fortunately Red Dragons, they breathe fire. But hey, you fight dragons? How about get dragon killing equipment? How about that? How's that for a deal?
I mean, I do like more Dragoon Lances because that is the only weapon everything wants to see give over here. I don't think I've seen a single Holy Sword. But yeah, I mean, hey, you know, I guess swinging 2 Dragoon Lances for Z isn't a bad thing either here. Johnny B walking up to the last save point. I kind of want to see a little bit of hit points here. 1,400 for DKC, about 2,000 for Rosa. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about that actually here. Yeah, I see Cecil probably going, yeah, double Dragoon Spear there. Gonna probably duo Zerker this as much as we can. Sid's the one you're going to want to keep Zerked there at that point. Does have the Heroin Rope, the multipliers, and the Spoon. Any kind of extra damage you can get in with that Cecil's Gravy. Speaking of, however, you know that Alt Gauntlet at the Baron, the Odin Throne? Guess what Charlie found?
Yeah, I mean, it's great, but also going to consume a lot of time instead of being on the moon. It's still fortunate to find. We'll still probably immediately do Cave Bahamut, knowing that he's in go mode. But I think it's the time of the seed. All right, maybe I'm catching on to some of the yawning. I don't know, but I think I feel some Z's coming on.
I feel some Z's on, and you know, the whole thing is, I don't really care about the butt right now, just because the butt can't do my taxes. Trust me, this is what I live for anymore. I hate the word extension. Oh wait, I'm projecting, aren't I? Yeah, go ahead and just kick that butt at your leisure there, John.
Yep, it's that time of the seed, and yeah. So I guess the question has to be asked: whose butt are we gonna kick tonight? And with the various numerous number of sprites, over 500, can't keep track of them all because I don't even know I've seen 100.
It's a closely held secret still by you know what they call agility black magic? No, agility is not black magic. The Zeromus list is black magic.
Cute. That's one of the questions that we like to answer. Is it cute? This is cute.
I mean, that butt is burninating the countryside is what's happening here.
It's fine. And so the lead-off virus is only to nerf the first Big Bang. Any subsequent Big Bangs have a very delicate, really kind of can be difficult window to be able to nerf the Big Bang. But though we have I think we have enough berserkers to slowly kind of enlarge that window only so slightly that you may be able to nerf it. But I think should be doing plenty of damage. Although DKC, I don't think has quite the multipliers. Probably not, due to probably not having enough levels, and we probably need more stat stick armors. Just like they're just are probably. I don't think John invested enough in that. Sid is having a go at it though, at least.
Sid's doing about anywhere from about 5,000 to 6,000 a hit. Look at Eddie getting that hide command off at base level. Says, "Hey, I'm still here in case you want to, take a shot at nerfing that next Big Bang there." The Berserk Cecil now going to about 3,000. Hey, he's almost swinging like Kane is normally on the scene. Okay, I'm thinking I might take a Kane now too. Actually, no. Cecil's hitting a little harder than Kane normally, unless he has that. But yeah, no real multipliers. Just a lot of attack power in those 2 Dragoon Spears here. Cure 4 coming out, but again, the big thing is, really honestly, the only 2 characters that John really probably cares right about now is Rosa and Sid. Yeah, Cecil's helping, and Palom's just kinda, Palom's just waiting there to nerf, honestly, if you're just sitting on the Black Magic Command. But, coming out with plenty around here. We may see Big Bang 2, probably gonna see Big Bang 2 here, which is why we're sitting on.
I think that's going to be deferred with the secret healing midway through the fight. So I think there'll be another shake. That's enough. I believe there's enough damage to deal to kind of avoid the immediate Big Bang. But trying to get in the timing the nerf in, but that's fine. Edward is just at least one less target, but I think this is a good enough timing. So this should be nerfed because I think it's just timed.
Yeah, Eddie, the absolute best target there for counter nukes there. Always great to see Eddie just, just that. Charlie getting the crystal here, but it doesn't matter because that's the crack, that's the bang, and Trogdormus is no more here, and that also means John B is moving ahead here, sweeping the match 2-0. Well played. We'll see if we can get him in here in just a little bit here.
GG's to John. That was we only need his 2 Zerkers, and that's a pretty clean fight, and it definitely got the correct timing in to getting the big bang, because otherwise it wouldn't have been a complete wipe, but it would have made it that much harder.
And here he is, John Birckhead. Hey, how you doing? I feel like we were just here, weren't we?
I am having deja vu all over again. I do. GG's, and GG's to Charlie, of course.
So I only really have one major question here, is what were you doing here giving us the treasury fake out? Walking in there like, I'm gonna raid the crap out of this thing, and you're like, nope, just kidding, I'm out.
That was muscle memory. Katie was in here, and you know, we were just talking, and I do better when I'm relaxed. So her being in here is actually really nice. I'm just talking to her. It's just muscle memory. Like, yeah, look, wait, what am I doing? I have a spoon of a heroin rope. John, go. I was like, where are we going? What are we doing? So apologies. I'm sure the treasury was great or not, or in between. I'm sorry, chat. My fault.
We don't know. Either one of you never did get it. Unfortunately, there, again, running a great race as well. Did find, you guys were kind of in a little bit of, I don't want to say like complete lockstep, because you just kind of just kept diverging and then converging all the way up until that Baron key. And Charlie said, I'm in Baron. I'm going to go ahead and do this. But hey, we found the alt gauntlet at the Odin throne.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so Charlie did have crystal in hand. But yeah, the magma key definitely a little faster there. Did also check the accursed mountain before we even knew Cecil was there. Obviously there was nothing there that we know everything is here. But yeah, it was just a strong race by the both of you there, and that was kind of one that I never really see the Blizzard Spear Ice Brand start, and I kind of like it actually.
Yeah, it kind of threw an audible on the fly there, and it felt good about it too, because I was able to go ahead and knock 2 checks out right away, in hopes of not the burp. Sorry. Oh, excuse me. In hopes of single dipping Evelyn, which I did, but Evelyn was a slog. That's the only part of this that really felt inefficient or bad. It felt like it just took forever. I was trying to get Palm up to Quake, which obviously didn't happen. That's the one asterisk I would put on this run that didn't really feel too good. I felt rewarded by going to Harp before going underground, because you might want to wait for Warp, level 29 on Palom, or maybe you want to wait for Exit if you come across an Exit caster. But having Tower Key and Tower Leading to Darkness, that felt good. That felt very, very, very good. And because I was probably going to do Dwarf until I found that Darkness Crystal, and then I decided I really like Last Storm and Hairdryers. I really enjoy both of those checks. They don't take all that long. I know Last Storm is maybe a little bit of a walk, but Hairdryers is right there. I had a sweeper. I was telling Charlie in the race room, like, this just kind of lined up with what I like to do. I kind of like to make we've seen so many seeds where the moon's been haunted, so I kind of like to get up there, do those checks, do Cave Bahamut in case it's the Gauntlet, which we saw like 25 times this week, make a second sweep through, and then just go ahead and do moon things. So, if that hadn't hit, I was going to go back and do Baron next. But it sounds like I would have been behind at that point, so it just sounds like the routing kind of lucked out.
Yeah, and again, like I said, the whole routing between that, you were like I said, you were crisscrossing then ending up at the same time. Like you were both same amount of checks. Like you were both within like a minute of hitting trapdoor. Yeah, it was really close up to that point. So yeah, that was just kind of you got to pull ahead on that, which again, that's sometimes all you need. And again, that was just a really, just like yesterday. I know you don't say it was clean, but that was just a clean, fast race. And again, you got your one heroine robe. You had like no holy swords. Apparently, we were trying to just give you limited resources, OMG, which is a little interesting. But
yeah, I mean, I took that Red Dragon chest one just for a little bit of safety. With like 8,000 Dragoon spears, like how long is this really going to take? And I thought maybe, like I knew it wasn't going to be, the chance of a key item pretty low. So it's like maybe I'll get a crystal sword, get something so that I wouldn't have to nerf the second Big Bang. It was my 45th True Spear. Guys, hold on 1 second. Yes, honey? You don't have to knock. What's up, sweetheart? We have a tooth coming out. Chat, we have a tooth coming out.
That sounds important there. So, yeah, I'll just put you another GG there. And,
yep, we're going to take care of that.
And, go take care of that.
All right, GG's to Charlie, and thank you so much for comms and for restreaming all the things. I think I have to go find the Tooth Fairy, so I'm going to see y'all later. You have a wonderful night.
Good luck.
All right, bye-bye.
GG's.
Okay, with that here, I guess we are not... no Charlie interview, again, just, give them a follow. Extremely good game played by both of them here. And we are not done yet today here, is we do have a race going on Free Enterprise 2 between Eisen and Tybalt. It is their game 2 as well, so we're going to send you rating over there in just a little bit. Again, let's big shout out to Dubword on tracking, NG Dave on the restream, and my co-commentator Deathlike. Again, and any last words here?
It was a exciting race. I was disappointed that people the routes that and what ended up being what it is, but yeah. I think if you want to see more of Free Enterprise, check up the Discord, because that's where all the fun secretly lies. You would be surprised where all the fun actually starts. And also, if you like want to maybe consider joining the Restream team, because you need to, there's plenty of things to do here if you're interested. So yeah, and I hope to see you all next season. And don't spoil this race.
We have newspapers and we're not afraid to use them, or something like that. But yeah, have fun, and see you all on the next restream. Hooray!